Hello and welcome to this episode of With Miska podcast. And today my guests are gonna be from the movie Couples of Wife Carrying. My guests are Stephanie Coates, who is the post-production supervisor and associate producer of the film, and then Johanna Anttila, who's one of the leads in the film, and then also Karolyn Castaldo from Sunday River Ski Resort. And that was where we filmed the movie a couple of years ago in Maine. So we're going to be talking about the process of making the film and what's going on now with the film and what's going on in Sunday River. And the movie can now be rented online in North America and Canada. And you can also find our other film, Insanity, Vihanpidot. It has been released now in North America, Canada and Great Britain, as well as Finland. And also our other film, Someone Somewhere, is in Finland, in Elisa Viihde. So enjoy my talk with Karolyn Castaldo, Stephanie Coates and Johanna Anttila about the movie Couples of Wife Carrying. Thank you for coming to the With Miska podcast and Couples of Wife Carrying podcast too. And this is a live stream, and so hello everyone there on Facebook on the live stream. So we have a few people here who are connected with the film or were part of making the film. So I would love if each one of you could introduce yourselves and what did you do for the film? And I'm just going to say, my name is Miska Kajanus and I'm playing that guy in that film. I'm the Finnish wife carrier. Yes, so I would love to, can you please introduce yourselves?
Sure, I'll go first. I'm Karolyn Castaldo. I'm the Director of Communications for Sunday River. And though I wasn't at the resort when the movie was being made, I'm super familiar with wife carrying, and it's been super fun to work with you guys on promoting the movie and the sport.
I guess I'll go next. My name's Stephanie. I was the post-production supervisor on the show, and it was really great to meet Miska and Johanna and get this movie made. I mean, such a great time. Thanks for having me, Miska.
And my name is Johanna, and I was Miska's wife in the movie.
So thank you. So Karolyn, I would love to hear how has the response and how has it been for you being in Sunday River in Maine? What's the response to the movie? I guess many people have not seen it yet.
Yeah, so from the people who have seen it, it's been really great. You know, it's such a big tradition in this area, just the wife carrying sport in general, that I think drawing some spotlight to it through the movie has been really exciting. And for those who are in the movie, like Barry from the Funky Red Barn and Caroline Octera, it's been a really great sort of moment for wife carrying, so to speak.
Nice. So what's the history of the wife carrying competition in America?
Right. So the competition actually started in Bethel, but it's been in this area since 1999. So this year will be the 21st annual North American Wife Carrying Championship. And really, you know, our resort's always looking for kind of fun, quirky events to host. We have an event in December where we have over 100 Santas come down the slopes to kick off the holiday season. So it really ties in well with that sort of quirky event take. And so when we started the event, it was really to kind of draw people to the area in fall. I mean, Maine autumn is unbelievable. You guys have been here. The foliage is incredible, and it's just before our busiest time of year in the winter. So it was really to sort of build a festival around this fun, weird event that people would want to come and see. And it's just grown over the years. And, you get everything from couples who get engaged on the course, as I think you guys saw when you were here, and, people who aren't married who just really are athletic and want to have fun. So it has a unique history here.
Nice, thank you. And for everyone watching, if you want to put some questions to any one of us or to comments, we're seeing the Facebook comments too, so you can interact with us. So, Johanna, you were in Sunday River. When was that, and how was it? I think Johanna is frozen, so let's go to you, Stephanie. Yeah, so you're a post-production supervisor and associate producer in the film. So what does a post-production supervisor do? Let's say your titles correctly.
Yeah, you got it right. A post-production supervisor does or is responsible for kind of making sure the movie finishes on time and in the manner that we want it to. So, and to be ready for streaming or for projection. Mostly it was just making sure that we were making our deadlines, and it was a lot of schedules, a lot of that, and reaching out to local talent around Los Angeles also to kind of like work on sound, mixing, and also color correction, and working with them and making sure they had what they needed to finish the film. So that's mostly what I did, and called in a few favors just because this movie, it's really fun, and everybody that has touched it has been mostly surprised. Like, this is a thing? Wife carrying is a thing? This is great. So I'm very happy to have worked on it, and yeah, that's pretty much what a post supervisor does.
Well, since our budget was really small compared to many other films, can you please tell a little bit about your background? Like, what kind of films do you usually work on?
I usually work on feature films. I work for Paramount mostly, and I'm a coordinator there. That's the cool thing about this project, is that when you have a smaller budget film and you have more flexible indie directors, they're willing to think outside the box and kind of take a chance on me as well to move forward with what I do. So usually I'm a post coordinator, and I work on, we've had a lot of films come out, especially in this trying time as well, for streaming, like SpongeBob and a few other films. Yeah, so this is very much my wheelhouse.
Nice. How was this? So since this was so low budget, how was this different compared to the films that you usually work on?
Well, I was a lot more involved in the budget and very much closer to it, just because we did need to get things done kind of on a shoestring budget. But that's where the creativity comes in. It's like, how can we make this work if we don't have the unlimited spend? And I think the movie's probably better for it, like the creative choices that we had to figure out. So yeah, it's a little bit more fun. It's not cut and dry. Just kind of always have to think outside the box.
Yeah. And you haven't been in Sunday River, have you?
No, I haven't. I was very jealous. I got brought onto this once they had already shot the bulk of the movie, more through a friend of a friend. It was kind of a situation. And I really wish I would have gotten to see it, because it looked so fun, and I wish I could have seen the actual event.
Yeah, but I did get you out for it.
Yeah, I did do or I should say, I was carried for a little bit. That was part of my employment. It's like I needed to be carried for I think, 5 or 6 steps. Our other actor on this, Mississippi Al, did the honors. That was a good time.
Well, since you were talking about, hi Johanna, great to have you back.
Hey.
So since Stephanie, you were talking about the event, and Karolyn, you mentioned something about this fall. What's going on this fall?
Yeah, so, it was a little bit up in the air of whether we could even host the event this year, just with everything going on with the pandemic. So we made the decision to actually move the event up a day. It's now on Friday, October 9th. And we are going to have, the same normal couples, but a couple of modifications. Rather than couples running head to head like you saw in the movie, they'll be running individually, just a couple at a time against the clock pretty much, just to keep some distancing. We'll have slightly limited spectators, so it won't be the big crowds you guys are used to, but still keeping the spirit of the event alive because we didn't want to miss a fall of wife carrying. So we'll have that, and it's part of our fall festival still, but that'll be a little bit scaled back as well.
Nice. So Johanna, how do you actually use your name? How do you say your name here in America?
Well, it's Johanna Anttila. It's the same as in Finland, basically. But
Great.
people say it however they want to say it. And I'm just okay with that.
So Johanna, can you tell about your journey to this film and how the experience was?
Sure. And first of all, my apologies. It seems like my internet was a bit shaky, so I moved to a different place in the house. I hope it's going to work better now. It was super fun. I mean, I think we both found out. I mean, the whole process was the schedule was pretty fast. So we found out a few weeks before the actual filming that we were cast. We started practicing wife carrying, learning the sport, which was super fun. I mean, I remember we were carrying at this field, and you remember how these dogs were like barking at us and running after us because they were wondering like, what are these people doing? And of course, kids were staring at us, like pointing at us and asking their moms what's going on. That was a lot of fun. It's great to be able to prep for the movie with you, Miska. And just, it was fun to explore this character. She's just a fun person to be living the life of for a moment. And the actual event, of course, it was just magical to be in this place with thousands of people and getting to feel that energy of everybody there, and that it was the actual event just brought so much more to it. It was just a lot of fun.
Nice. So Stephanie, I already have one question. I got this as a message. How were you promoted to associate producer?
I think it was more because I was when we were mixing and things. When I was doing my job, my normal job, in addition to wife carrying, I've made a few contacts and things like that, and I was able to get us a small, like a mixing stage, like a full mixing stage, which I think really helped out with the sound and everything. And I think it was because of that. It was more of a surprise to me, honestly.
What's a mixing stage?
Well, it's before the film is done, a big part of what makes a film sound professional and really get you into the moment is the mix. So everything you've recorded on set or ADR to add some lines or jokes or what have you, and also sound effects that are cut in. All that has to get mixed and layered, and the better environment you have, the better the mix. And I think that really helped. And I'm sure we've got some pictures somewhere of that stuff, but it was really great. And I guess I do a shout out to Mike Rizzuto, who helped us out with that. It was really great, and I'm very grateful for all of their help.
Nice, thank you. And Karolyn, I have a question from you. I got a question for you. Why do women wear helmets during the tournament?
Women wear helmets during the tournament because it can get a little bit dicey going over the log hurdles. Just with the height difference, sometimes if it's a taller woman and a shorter man, when they're going over it, there's definitely a potential for a woman to hit her head. And a lot of women get dropped. I mean, you guys know it's a very athletic sport, oddly enough. And it takes a lot of muscle to be able to hold on tight as someone's running you up and down a hill. So it's more of a safety precaution than anything.
And I have another question for you. Well, I'm from Finland, and I grew up like half an well, maybe 20 minutes from the actual wife carrying place. I'm from that area. So what was the first, how did you first start doing wife carrying in Bethel? Like what was where did you get the idea? Where did someone get the idea?
You know, I'm not really sure. It's the sport is almost as old as I am, or at least in North America. So I haven't gotten quite that history on it, but I definitely think it just gets back to that quirky, weird event. You know, it's a very creative, fun community here, and I think that someone must have seen it either on the news or in a newspaper article about the Finnish event and just decided, hey, we need to do that.
Nice. So, Johanna, we were speaking about helmets and the actual experience of being carried or being a carrier. Can you tell more about that experience?
Well, I mean, yeah, as I mentioned, it is, well, one of the things I can say when we first started carrying, I needed to learn how to do, like both of us had to kind of figure out ways that it would be the most comfortable for both of us. So I remember when we started doing it, you were just kindly telling me that I'm choking you, like with my thighs. I was like, and he was like hardly breathing. Yeah. So it's like one of those things where you just have to communicate with each other and practice what's most comfortable for both of you. So luckily I didn't end up killing him and we ended up being okay. So.
Yeah. And I didn't expect it to be so hard for the woman because you need to, it's pretty physical for you too, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And I have another question for Johanna. How was it like for Johanna, a Finnish native, to be a part of this film to represent her culture in America?
Well, that was a lot of, and I enjoyed it. I think it was really nice that Dan and Evan both wanted to represent the true, like make things authentic as much as they could. And they were really asking for our participation and allowing us to participate in that too. We did a lot of improv on set, which was really fun. We also were we went over the script a lot together as a team. And they were kind of making sure, like, would this work, or is this like, what would the Finnish people do, and that kind of stuff. So it was very much a collaboration, which was really nice. And I feel like they wanted to. I don't think that our characters are necessarily very typical Finnish people. So Finnish people are usually very shy and very introverted and that kind of stuff. So, but I do think that there's a lot of things that we were able to give to those roles. And so, yeah. And I think it was really nice that they wanted to have a couple from Finland competing and honoring the history of the sport in that way.
And I have a question from the chat, and I think this is for everyone, at least for now. It's from Julia from Ireland. So when will we see you at the real race in Sonkajärvi in Finland? Karolyn?
Well, I don't think that I'll be going, but we do typically send quite a few of our North American wife carrying champions to Finland. They automatically get entered into that competition. It's just some don't choose to make the trip. But I know a handful, including the Stories, who you guys met when you were there filming, who are in the film. They've gone and done pretty well. So you'll definitely see some more Sunday River competitors at the Finnish event.
Do you get Finnish competitors in North America?
We have had some, yes. Not in recent years, but probably in the last 10 or so. We have had some Finnish competitors come over this way.
How about Stephanie? When are you going to Finland?
Well, I mean, maybe when it's safe again. I mean, I'm saving up all these vacation days for something, so might as well. When does that happen? Is that
in the middle of summer? I think July or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, maybe next year.
Great. Yeah, I've been there a couple of times. I haven't participated in the competition, but I'm hoping that we're going to do a sequel. There's no sequel in talks, but it would be fun to do a sequel. And maybe we could film part of that in Finland. Yeah. That would be fun. Yeah, Johanna, When are you going
Well,
there?
I was actually planning to do that this year, but then they canceled it because of COVID. So yeah, so I'm sure I'll be there one of these very upcoming years, so very soon.
So Carolyn, I don't know if you know this, but do you know the difference with the Finnish track and your track?
So I've seen some videos, and it seems like it's more of a track event than, running up a mountain like that. I think that's the main difference, right? But are there some other differences?
As far as I know, I might be wrong, but I think the main thing is that the Finnish it's pretty flat. So I would like to ask you, how did you end up doing it on a mountain? It's quite hard.
Absolutely. So one thing that we really like to do, because we are a ski area, is really utilize the natural, topography that's available to us at the resort. It's something that we do we have a mud race that we do every summer that's about 5 miles. It has a lot of obstacles, but that's the main piece of it, is that you're running up and down the mountain, getting blasted with snow guns. It's really using the resort to our benefit, or to the competitor's disadvantage. So, same thing goes for wife carrying. Really, it's using that hillside that we have there. Digging a hole and filling it with water is pretty easy for the Widowmaker. So, and the log hurdles just really kind of feel very Maine and rustic. So, everything about the North American Championship really kind of drives home that you're in Maine and you're experiencing something very American.
What's the Widowmaker?
That's the water hazard. So, where your partner there is getting her head dunked in the water.
Yes. So we've been talking quite a lot about the difficulties. Johanna, can you explain the difficulties with the water and with the log situation?
Well, we were lucky with you. I never hit my head badly, or you never dropped me in the water, which happens a lot. Apparently, there's a lot of funny YouTube videos about it. But yeah, a lot of that's very much of a possibility. That's why you wear the helmets, because when you're going over the logs, that could really hurt. So yeah, and obviously you could drop in the water, but yeah, I felt very safe with you. I wasn't worried.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I noticed that you sort of want to go as fast as you can, but you really need to slow down and take it easy, especially in the water and in the logs, because otherwise you're going to drop and something's going to happen. I guess there's some kind of penalty if you drop the lady.
There's a 5-second penalty. So that gets added to your time.
Yes. So Stephanie, since the film was done in Indy, what were the biggest hurdles that you needed to face when doing the post-production, and how did you solve them with this film?
Well, with any indie film, you need to make some compromises and things, but I guess maybe the biggest hurdle was probably the sound, just because the shooting schedule was so quick, and everything was happening all the time. We really needed to get a little bit more into that, and we got some really great help on that, just filling out the sound and everything in post-production. And that's something that, post is really great at, is, kind of filling in the world after you shoot everything, because, we had so many takes of you and Johanna and well, everybody, and getting it all together. And also, going through the comedy is hard. Comedy is a hard thing. I'm sure, our director and our editor, Monty, will tell you, comedy, getting things right, you can have great takes and everything, but trying to get it to move together and feel that pacing, that's something we got really good people to work on. But yeah, it's difficult. I guess that's the biggest hurdle, would probably be sound.
This is a good time. Thank you. So this is a good time from Johanna ask, how was our film crew and how was this film shot?
We had a very small cast and crew. I mean, obviously there was a ton of extras, which were the actual people. But as far as the actual actors, there was only the four of us, and then Evan played a few, like they did some cameos there, but we had just kind of the basic crew members that we really needed, and we filmed everything in 1 week, which is a pretty crazy schedule. If you know anything about filming, it's rather crazy. I think last time you were talking with Evan and Dan, and I think what we filmed, most days we filmed something like 10 pages, which normally you'd film like 3 pages. And the actual race day, we filmed like 16 pages or something insane. So it was a pretty hectic schedule, but it didn't really feel, I think as actors too, like I was just having so much fun with it. And also, I didn't have to worry about any of the technical stuff or any of that. I was just enjoying the experience of it. And we were all basically together 24/7 for a week. I mean, minus a few hours of sleep every night. So we became very close, and it was almost like working with a family. We became like this little movie set family.
Can you also
great energy.
Can you also say how big the crew was? How many cameras and all that?
So we had on the race day, we had 2 cameras, and we had the sound guy, the director, and the producer, the first AD. Am I forgetting someone?
No, it was 2 cameras and
right?
1 sound person. And I think in the race, they had 1 or 2 extra cameras, so everyone was holding some kind of camera.
Yeah.
But Stephanie, did we lose 1 camera? I think we did.
Did we lose
Evan
one?
told me that we lost
yes,
one.
we lost the footage of 1 camera on the race day. Yes.
Yes.
Oh no.
Yeah.
So Karolyn,
we lost some stuff, unfortunately.
Karolyn, I'm sorry if I missed this in the beginning, but when did you move to Sunday River or Maine?
So I actually moved to the area in 2014, and I worked in the marketing department here at Sunday River until 2017. So I basically just missed you guys when you were up filming. And I came back in 2019, I think. So, I've been around the sport for a while. I grew up skiing here. But it was kind of interesting to come back. One of my first tasks back in my new role was having a conversation with Evan about the movie, because he was pitching it to different, companies to try and get it out into the world. So it was kind of fun to get back and, realize that someone had filmed a movie about wife carrying in the time that I wasn't at the resort.
That leads me to a question like, what did you hear about this crew that had done the film? What was the general?
I heard it was awesome. And honestly, it's so impressive that you guys were able to pull off what you did in such a short time. And while the actual event is happening, there's so much going on. You have thousands and thousands of people to kind of work around as you're filming. And, I think it's just that level of stress to try and get that all done in such a short period. It's really amazing to see how it came out in the final product. But the stories are crazy as the film. It's a lot of fun, and it really captures the spirit of the sport.
Well, I'm happy to hear that we are still welcome back there.
Of course.
I think everything went really well. But it was quite exciting because during the week we were sort of living each step, because it was done in like a real time type of way, and we really participated in the competition with Johanna. Yeah. So Stephanie, since you have only seen Sunday River from the screen, what's your feelings, and how does the competition look to you?
Well, it looks really difficult, honestly. And a little bit scary, I think, from the woman's perspective, like being upside down and sliding down into the Widowmaker, that you called it, the water hazard. But also a big community, like from all the dailies that I saw, and not just what was in the film. It looks like a really great event, and something, honestly, that I would be into, And also, you play for beer. That's awesome. What a great prize. It's
absolutely.
And that the seesaw thing, that was cool. Is that a normal thing that you do? the
Oh
seesaw?
yeah, that's part of it. Every year we, like you saw in the movie, we weigh our competitors beforehand, but it really adds another element to get the crowd involved and show them sort of weighing the wife with the beer on the seesaw.
So what's the specific, what's the wife is being weighed on that? Can you, Karolyn, tell the rules?
Sure, yeah. So, in the event, the goal is really for the couple to compete the course the fastest, and whoever finishes, with the fastest time is winning the wife's weight in beer and 5 times her weight in cash. So we need to make sure that whatever she weighs, we have an accurate count on that, so we can get them, that prize money in the beer. And so at the end, we put the wife right on a seesaw and stack the beer right on top so that we can see how it balances out. We usually throw a little bit extra on if she can lean back and, try and balance it out a little bit. And then, we make the calculations for the check, and it's usually in the 500 to 600 range for that cash prize.
Nice. Sounds good.
Yeah.
So, Johanna, I'm interested in because this was, I guess the style of this is mockumentary, which is like a fake documentary type of thing. How was it to you act in a film that is the style is mockumentary instead of like a regular drama or comedy film?
Well, it was a new kind of thing. I hadn't done that before. So it was a fun new challenge. And we kind of lived, like we went a little overboard with that. Like it wasn't just a fake documentary in the movie. It was also like, while we were doing it, we were kind of living it as we were there. So it was like just this pretty incredible experience in that way too. But yeah.
I have another question to that, but I'm also reminding if you're watching this, please, you can comment on the Facebook and you can ask any questions. We're going to answer those too real time. So Johanna, how big, since we were filming in like the real environment, did you need to improvise a lot?
Yeah, I mean, we had the script. Also, we did a lot of improv there while we were there, and that had already been discussed beforehand that we're gonna, like, Evan and Dan wanted to do it that way. And I honestly was a little bit nervous about it, but it was really fun to do that. And I think it added to it too. Yeah, so we did do a lot of improv as well, in addition to screenplay.
So Karolyn, is there going to be any events or anything involved with the film coming up this fall?
Yeah, so we're really excited. It's actually going to be the theatrical premiere of the movie right here in Bethel. So right after the event on October 9th, the actual wife carrying event, our local movie theater, The Gem, is going to do a screening of the movie. So that'll be the first time that it's shown in a theater at all, which is really exciting. They're going to do 2 screenings over the course of that weekend. So hopefully we can get lots of people to see it and appreciate the sport and all the work you guys put into it.
Nice. Well, and since Sunday River, it's a ski resort.
Yes.
So what can you tell me a little bit about your work? Like, what other duties do you have apart from organizing the wife carrying contest?
So I work mostly in public relations. So a lot of my job is getting to tell people about what a great place this is to visit and all of our events and activities. And so that's part of the marketing department. We basically get to ski a lot and tell people to come visit Maine. We have some other, exciting events. I think I mentioned our Santa Sunday event that has, a couple hundred Santas coming down the slopes. We host a couple of beer festivals every year. So it's really part of what I love about my job is that I get to do so many fun things all the time. And, just welcome more and more people that come to the resort.
Nice. And Stephanie, how has the COVID affected your work? I don't even know where do you specifically usually work.
Well, I usually work at the studio, but we've been at home this whole time. But since I'm in post-production, I have not stopped working this entire time, which I'm grateful for, but also, getting everybody to work from home was a big challenge, like the first month that this was going on. Now we're a little bit more settled into our roles and actually finishing movies. Again, it's kind of like the indie filmmaking a little bit, really having to think outside the box and how can we get this done since we can't do it the traditional way. So I am in my apartment, which is, where I am most days now, pacing around, taking phone calls and such, just here. So my job hasn't changed actually that much, except for the location.
What are your thoughts, Stephanie, on the whole movie industry? How has it changed, and what do you see in the future? Yeah, is anything being filmed?
Yes, actually, we're getting back to filming. It's a little bit harder now, just because we want to keep people safe. There's a lot more regulations, as there should be, but people are going to start filming very soon. A couple shows have already started. None of mine, none of the ones that I'm working on, because I don't have anything in production right now. It's just post-production. We're just finishing, and some animated titles too. But yeah, I think probably VFX is going to be a big thing now, because to replace big crowds, so we don't have to do that. We can digitally replace people that way, and we've been doing it for years, but even more so, and also digital environments. Mandalorian did a lot of that, and I think we're going to see more and more of that. But I mean, people really want stories and content, and that's not going to stop. So we're going to figure out a way to make it work.
How did Mandalorian do the environments?
Well, as far as I know, they had a digital background, so it wasn't like rear projection, which is something that has been around for a long time. It was sorry, I don't want to say the wrong thing because I didn't work on that one. I was just like, that was one of the ones that we can kind of hold up and say, hey, we can put people anywhere, and it really does look perfect.
So they can, I think it's LED screens.
It's not green screen though.
Yeah.
Yeah. It almost seems like, the holodeck in Star Trek. That's how I think about it.
So it seems like that the industry is moving. It's really changing the way everything is being filmed.
Yeah, that's films. It's innovation. It's, always moving something forward. Like, how can we put can we film something actually in space? I don't know. We'll figure it out.
How are the spirits of the people in the film industry?
Well, I mean, a lot of production people, and I've got friends and family that work in production, and it was really scary. Like, what are we going to do? Everything was kind of put on hold, or anything that wasn't in post already was put on hold, and people were worried. But I don't know. It's a very resilient industry, and a lot of people are very used to kind of like long breaks in between projects, and that's just part of their life. So I want to say people are coming around to being more optimistic now, and more jobs are gonna come back pretty soon. It's just to be a little bit different.
And I'm very happy to hear that you have been working the whole time.
Yeah, it's been very busy. Just because with COVID, we say add 20%. So 20% more time, 20% more money, 20% more hassle. So that's just how it is. And so they need people like me to kind of keep things going.
Nice. And Johanna, you're an actor. Can you tell how this world situation has affected you, and where are you?
I've been very lucky. I mean, I am in Finland right now. I actually, just 10 days before the travel ban, I flew out to Finland from the United States to surprise my family. My dad was actually having heart surgery, and I wanted to come be here. And I hadn't told anybody that I was coming. So I just like came like with a hood on my hoodie on and like creeped in and was trying to make sure that nobody sees me. And I got some great reactions. It was really fun. I was very sneaky about finding out ways to know when my parents are going to be home too. So I knew that I could actually come here and they would be here. And I was planning to stay for 3 weeks and I've been here for 6 months now. So so I'm still here. I don't know what's going to happen in the future, but I'm completely fine with that. I think I've just, it's been really lovely to be here, honestly. I acted in some videos about how to help your children cope with Corona-related fears and anxieties. And I played the lead role in a feature film that we were lucky enough to film. Things in Finland have been really good with COVID. So life is pretty as close to normal as it can be in this situation. And I've been able to spend time with friends and family who I hadn't seen in most of them for at least 2 years, because I hadn't been in Finland for 2 years. So yeah, I feel like I've been very blessed in that way. Yeah.
So they're already filming in Finland?
Some things are. Some things have been postponed, but yes, there's stuff going on.
How about Karolyn? You already told the differences to the wife carrying competition this year because of the COVID. But how is it with the other events? How are you doing there?
Sure. We're good. I think Maine has one of the lowest rates in the country. So, and we're in such a rural area that it hasn't hit us too hard. We did actually close the ski area about a month and a half earlier than we normally do, when, everything kind of shut down in the US in March. I've been working throughout the whole time. Part of my role is doing internal messaging too. So, writing different notices from our management to employees and that kind of stuff. And really just looking at ways that we can safely offer a nice, vacation experience for people. So we do have our golf courses open, one of our hotels is open. And we'll be fully open for winter, but just with some modifications to how many people we can have in our facilities and that kind of stuff. So it's definitely been sort of a unique challenge. Since skiing, you're distanced anyway, and a lot of the time you're outside and your face is covered. So the ski experience will be really similar. It's just going to be some differences in, how you go into the lodge or your hotels and that kind of stuff.
Nice. No, so since this film was quite a lot about realizing your dreams as a project, like Evan and Dan, the filmmakers, and Brad wanted to make this film and they found a little bit of money to make it happen. So Stephanie, what kind of tips would you have for filmmakers that have a dream and maybe a script and not that much money?
I'd say a good tip is to always plan for how you want to finish a movie, before you get started. So you can really, I'm coming at it from a post-production standpoint, and, you want to make sure that the story that you want to tell actually comes across in the final product. So, budget is key and also figuring out how you want to finish. That's the biggest thing. I think if you really want to do this and plan a movie, then figure out where you want to get to at the end.
You mean like who's going to do the post-production? What do you mean with how you're going to finish?
Well, is this going to be for streaming release? Then you can let go of a lot of the theatrical things that you would do. So you only need a stereo mix if it's going to be more, like streaming on Facebook or on, if it's meant to be shown that way. Then you can start, as you mean to go on, and you can get the right cameras. And, I find a lot of times, like, you start something off and you start off with just a very basic understanding of where you want to go. And then by the time you get to the end, sometimes you don't have what you'd need, or you'd need more money to get where you want to go. So that was a little convoluted, but if you decide that you want to release this on streaming, then you know that you need certain things to happen during production and during post. And that's something you need to get ahead of that planning before you start shooting.
That's actually a good point you brought up, and I would like to ask you, how has the distribution process and the decisions to that, how has it been with this film?
Well, this film is a bit unique because this is an indie film. It's been a lot longer process. So the distribution and everything, that's really Dan and Evan. They have been chasing this down since we wrapped everything a couple years ago. That was when, I mean, I get involved every once in a while if there's some more deliverables that come around, like DCP for theatrical viewing and things like that.
Sorry, can you tell what's DCP?
It's basically it's a file that a theater would play for you. So it's digital cinema package, like nobody knows about it. It's just what a theater would show you. It's a different way to view something. But yeah, it's been Dan and Evan and also Monty, our editor, constantly getting back involved and outputting new media for us every few months. But it's been worth it. I mean, we're available streaming on Vudu now. I mean, it's amazing. Most of the time, I'm pretty much done after we have turned over our theatrical version, and that's kind of where we're at now. We're actually going to screen for people. This is so awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And which sound mixes did we do?
We did the stereo mix and a 5:1 mix for 5:1 for theatrical and stereo for streaming or home video. And
5:1 is can you tell what it means?
5.1 sound. It's the basic surround sound that you get. Pretty much every theater in the U.S. starts with 5.1 and then it goes up from there. So it's left, center, right, and then surround, left and right surround, and the subwoofer.
Nice. Yeah, Karolyn, since you've been part of this for quite a while already, what are your duties and how are you collaborating with us with the film? Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. So it's been kind of interesting when I first talked with Evan and Dan, right when I started in this role, it was, okay, so we want to do a theatrical release and we're, talking and seeing how we can make that happen. And I was like, okay, well, let us know when, we have some dates and we'll push it out to our audience. And it, there was a while in between, which, makes sense. And then I was a little bit surprised actually to hear from them right, pretty much as soon as everything shut down for COVID, saying, yeah, we're going to have, this available for streaming. I was like, that's perfect. So, our involvement is really just to wrap that message into everything we're doing with promoting wife carrying. It's such a great pairing to talk about, still being able to have the event and, making sure that there's a screening in Bethel and that we're doing it safely. Beyond this weekend, or the weekend of Fall Festival, it's kind of going to be an interesting balance. Most of my job once the festival is over normally is going right into winter mode for ski season. But, we'd love to continue to be involved in doing these kinds of things and press engagements. So.
Yeah. And we are very thankful, like having something like Sunday River to collaborate with us. It's really unique because I don't think our marketing budget is that big. Yes. So Johanna, what's going on with you and the film? We are going towards the end of the conversation, but Johanna, what's your future with the film and without the film? What's going on
with wife carrying?
With the film and also in your other life. What do you have planned?
Sure. So, with wife carrying, I'm just looking forward to hopefully getting it here in Finland as well. Because right now it's available in the States and in Canada. And so I think that's kind of my part right now. Just looking forward to that. There's no active role at this moment for me. But otherwise, I acted in an action thriller called Loss of Grace a few years ago as well. And that's coming out internationally soon. And I played the third lead in that. And over half of my lines were actually in American Sign Language. So, and that was a really tight schedule as well, an indie film. So I learned sign language in about 3 weeks for that film, which was really fun in addition to other prep work. So that was a good challenge. And like I mentioned, we filmed that one thing here in Finland, the feature film. And that one's called Kuriri. And it's a suspense drama based on a true story about this owner of a cleaning company who becomes a smuggler. She starts smuggling valuables between Finland and Estonia in the late 1970s. And I played the smuggler, of course. So that was a lot of fun.
Sounds
and that
good.
should be coming out in Finland and Estonia, I think, next year.
Yeah. How about Stephanie? Well, you have already told quite a lot, but do you still have any duties with the film, and what do you have coming up yourself?
Well, with the film, it's more just if something comes up, I can kind of help facilitate things. If it's deliverables and things like that, I'm kind of like Johanna. I'm kind of, my biggest part is finished, so now it's just kind of like waiting for good news.
Nice.
Yeah.
And how about Karolyn? We already spoke. What's next for you?
Ski season. we get about 500,000 skiers here a year. So that's kind of the biggest piece of our world. And winter's a really fun time in Maine, almost more fun than wife carrying, honestly. So just kind of prepping for that and getting ready for winter and what's to come, given COVID and everything else.
And so there's going to be a screening in Maine on the 9th.
Yes.
And it's going to be open for anyone to buy tickets, right? The theatrical premiere of the film.
Exactly, yep.
Awesome. I'm just checking, so I'm saying where the film is available. So the film is available to buy and rent on most major cable providers and as well as digitally on iTunes, Amazon, YouTube, Google, Vudu, and many more. So if you put on Google couples of wife carrying, you can actually watch it right now, at least in North America and Canada. Mm-hmm. Is it correct, Stephanie?
Right. I think that's where we're at right now with everything. Next the world.
Yes, and we're working on getting it to the world and also to Finland. But that's exciting, the main theatrical premiere. Well, is there anything else you have in mind that you would like to say at the end?
I don't think so. We're just thrilled to, be involved and be telling more people about wife carrying. It's an awesome experience, and you guys did a fantastic job.
Thank you. And everyone should go to Sunday River to ski.
Yes.
Did you already tell me, when does the ski season begin?
So typically we open around Halloween. We get snow that early and we're able to make snow that early. It'll probably be early November this year. Just we're trying to, do a couple of things for COVID, but it's coming right up.
Sounds good. I'm going to go and find some skis for me.
Perfect.
Well, thank you, Karolyn. Thank you, Stephanie. Thank you, Johanna. This was great. And I hope to see you in person soon.
Likewise.
Thank
you so much.
Thanks so much, Miska.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.
Right, bye.
Bye. Nice to see you.
And that was my talk with Karolyn, Stephanie, and Johanna. So there's 3 films now that you can check from us, which is Couples of Wife Carrying, Someone Somewhere, and Insanity, which has been released now in North America, Canada, and Great Britain. Thank you. Talk to you soon. Bye.